They went up in a place like Rome, and they were known as the the Etruscans. That was on this side. All right. The Underground Railroad. The final destination was a place called Nova Scotia.
All right, it's part 2 because I don't know when it stopped, so I'm going to go back a little bit.
Understand that Nova Scotia means New Scotland, right? When you deal with Scotland, right? An example for a lot of y'all who like to watch movies, The Last King of Scotland dealt with the Uganda. The Ugandans, right, who established what we call Kemet, a lot of them would run out of that area, and they went up into places like Greece. They went up in a place like Rome, and they were known as the Etruscans. They were known as the Iberians, right? Because they were being persecuted for their religious beliefs. These people were all Coptics, right? And you know about Kemetic studies, know who the Coptics are, know what it's dealing with in terms of Kemet, right?
All right, now let's look at the extrusions. So this looks like an Edomite to me. We gotta understand there's more than one melanated person. There's the black Edomites, which are Hebrew. There's the Hebrew Israelites. And there's the African people. Or who we call African people today. Alright? Look at this. This is an Edomite. See how he has a full beard? See, that's our brothers, right? Jacob and their forefather were brothers. So he went back and got an Ishmaelite, and so the kid would look more like us. So his descendants will be black, or so-called black. I don't term myself black. I'm copper colored. So you look at this guy, this is definitely an Edomite. This is an Iberian. You see the afro? See that? Now the Iberians took over Spain, and that's why you get a lot of those Caucasoids over there. They don't have blonde hair, they got darker hair. They're a little darker. They got, instead of blue eyes, they got green eyes. They got big buds. They're mixtures with these people. Oh, my bad.
So these same people will run out of Kemet.
My memory right now messed me up. My bad. I'm gonna get back.
Beheaded on the Nile. Because the same war is still going on now. So these same Coptics will run out of places like Kemet. They established Greece. They established Rome. They established Iberia. These are also the Jews that were in Iberia that will run out, that they like to tell you were white.
See, that's why I was trying to get at that. Those are not Jews. This is not a Jew. This is a duke and a duchies. Who are the duke and the duchies in the Bible? The Edomites. They don't call us dukes and duchies. I mean, he's on there, but these are not Israelites. These are Edomites.
People, and they were not.
You don't believe me? Here, I'll show you some Edomites right here. This is an Edomite.
She broke us. I said, okay. She said, I'm with the Shatta tribe. I said, Shatta tribe? I said, I have a list of all the Native American tribes, and I don't see Shatta. She said, there's a reason for that. I said, oh, really? She said, well, you're kind of the last of the black Indians. I said, black Indians? I said, wait a minute. I remember in the past, I heard of some black Indians in history lessons say like that. She said, oh, yeah. She said, we're the Shatta tribe.
This the Edomites. This your brothers.
Macklin wasn't the only one
Turn
who wouldn't
their back
recognize
on
the
you.
name of the Choctaw tribe. For the Bureau of Indian Affairs, Chief Warhorse and her tribe do not officially exist. They're not entitled to federal support.
You see how her hair is different?
We are punished today because we helped free slaves. Okay? If my tribe never helped to free slaves, they may never would have bothered us. If we would have just continued helping Europeans as they came in, we were fine. Never would have bothered us. If we would have just continued helping Europeans as they came in, we were fine. Slaves, they may never would have bothered us. If we would have just continued helping Europeans as they came in, we were fine.
You have to understand, when they came in, they helped the Europeans. And after the war and you were set free, or at the end of the war and you were about to be set free, they helped you. So the government does not recognize them no longer, and they do not get any benefit for being natives because they helped us. This is Edomites.
But when we decide to help this,
Look at her hair. Look how her hair grows. It's different.
slaves, now we did something wrong. So that's why I don't have my recognition today.
At the beginning of the 18th century,
Yeah. Esaw. Okay, now if you put Esaw Indians. And it'll go Catawba tribe. Esaw. Hold up. Oh shit, I didn't pause it. Alright, so here we go, I found it. So Catawba people. The Catawba people, also known as Esaw or Esaw or Iswa, but most commonly known as Esaw. Catawba Indians redirect here for sports teams. Esaw redirects here for persons. See Esaw. Okay, you know what? This is not it. Alright, this is not the one I found before, but here we go. This is another one, just to prove. The Cherokee people, also known as the Sara or Sara, were a Siouan-speaking tribe of indigenous people of the southeastern woodlands in the Piedmont area of North Carolina, named Sarah Mountains, east of Pilot Mountain and north of Yadkin River. Remember, Sarah is their grandmother too. They lived in the village of near the Catawba River. So this is the direct lineage to the Esaw Indians of Catawba River. Their first European and African contact was with Hernando de Soto expedition in 1540. The early explorer John Lawson included them in larger Eastern Siouan Confederacy, which he called the Esaw Nation. So the Edomites had a nation called the Esaw Nation with a W. After attacks in the late 17th century and early 18th century, they moved to the southeast around the PD River, where the Cherokee name became more widely used. They became extinct as a tribe, although some descendants survived as a remnant peoples. What are we? The remnant. Remnant, Sarah, originally known as Sarah. Didn't we get our name from Sarah? Israel, Israel. There's a bunch of different terms it could be. Yes, sir, L could be, but Sarah is right here. Sarah, Chara, Sarah, Chara. Ladies and gentlemen, the name they call themselves is lost to history, but the Cherokee called them Anusavaki and the Catawba Sarah. So the Cherokee was calling them this, Anisuvai. So scholars have conflicted theories of the tribe, its history, and its relation to other tribes. So it said that they related to the Mississippian culture. So maybe the Mississippian culture could be Esaw, Edomites. So here you go. So the Lawson family, those are Edomites. Indian Tom Lawson. So this is like, so that was letters trying to show that they're Native Americans, but the government wouldn't accept it because of, remember I showed you the video, they tried to help us after a while, they felt guilty, and they got punished for it. See how Esaw is interchangeable as a last and a first name? This is the Edomites, the black Edomites we hear about, Liberians, you know, all these different people. Okay, let's get this out of here. It's taking too much shit.
White people. These tribes are known as the Morini and the Mandubi. You can look these tribes up. These tribes fled all the way up into France and places like that, all the way over to the England, right? And eventually they came through Greenland and they established their first homeland in the Americas in a place called Nova Scotia. Now, Nova Scotia means new dark lands. Kemet is what? The dark lands, right? No, Scotland is the dark land. Scot is come from the word scorch. Scorch, as in blackened, right? So now when you're dealing with the term Scot, Scot means dark. So when we talk about Anne Scott, who was the mother of King James, Scott is not a name, it's a title. See, a lot of the things we don't understand is that what we think of as surnames are just descriptive titles, meaning Europeans, when they named things or they designated things, it was either descriptive, locational, right, or functional. So you have names like Miller, right, because those families worked at mills. You have names like Taylor, because those families made clothing. You have people who are known as fishers, because when they encountered these people, they encountered them on the waters and they were fishing. So they called the people fishers. You have families named Rivers. Why? Because when they encountered these families, when they came here, they named them according to their location place, right? So you have family names like Hill, right? Family names like my family, which is Rock, right? When you start to deal with the real understanding of languages, you understand that a lot of the people who, what we assume are surnames, are really descriptive terms given to the people, right? So I could go deeper in it and start breaking it down from the language of my people.
Now understand, we all hate our slave names. Oh, it's a slave name. Mine is a slave name, but a lot of you guys don't have slave names. They took your names and they used your names, what your family was doing, and they built debt and profit off of your name, and they make you hate your own name or your own titles. They make you separate yourself from your titles, yourself, your family, your culture, and your land. You're not American, they tell you. You're from somewhere else. You have no right to, when you get in fights, get the fuck to Africa. Leave here, get out of here. This is America. But then the original definition of American is copper colored. They're not copper colored.
Which, you know, we call our language Lenape because the language is synonymous with the people, right? But when they steal your language and they steal your identity, what happens is you start to revert and you start to use different names, identities for yourself. One of the first names that we reverted to, right, and I'm speaking for those of us in Lenape-Hoking, which is all of New Jersey, the 5 boroughs, eastern Pennsylvania, and northern Delaware, all right? So all the people within that territory who lost their tribal identity, started to refer to themselves as Moors. Because Moor is a general title that references seafaring indigenous nations, right? It doesn't mean Morocco. Somebody from Morocco is not a Moor, he's a Moroccan. Somebody from Mauritania is not a Moor, he's a Mauritanian. If that concept was valid, then if Morocco is short from, if Moor is short for Morocco, then the concept of a Moor would be what we call ourselves, because we come from America, right? So for somebody to start talking like Moor is not a nationality, right? Moor come out of a function, it come out of an action. Mooring is steering. In order to moor a ship, you're guiding a ship, right? Who was the person when Columbus sailed here? Who guided his ship? Pedro the Moor. Moor is a function, just like Taylor is a function, just like Smith is a function. But the Europeans, when they encountered the original Moors, right, they were all melanated people. So through association, Moor became dark. But it's not what it means. Connotatively, it means navigator. That's what it means. But you're going to deal with people who are going to tell you Moor means this and Moor means that, and I'm telling you, they are not educated on the concept. Now, I will break it down for you. There's a tribe.
Now I keep telling you, you're not an Israelite, you're a Moor. You're not an Israelite, you're a Moor. You're not a native, you're a Moor. Moor means sailor. You were a sailor. All us were sailors. All us melanated people. For real.
Called the Nanticoke Lenape Moors in southern Jersey, right? For a long period of time, after they passed laws which denied us the right to carry out our culture, and our culture was simply farming and hunting. All this other stuff y'all want to talk about, it's just the show. It's regalia, right? Our culture was hunting and farming. When they outlawed that because they wanted to control our food sources, when they outlawed marijuana and hemp because it provided over 1,000 remedies in terms of foods, medicines, things of that nature. When they outlawed all that, we were forced to start dealing with them on their terms, right? Now, when they removed a lot of us to Oklahoma, the Indians that were removed then were the amalgamated Indians, who were a product mainly of the Irish migration and us mixing with the Irish. So a lot of these people, that's why these Indians look the way they look. That's why they look
And you see right here, this is amalgamation right there. This is Major Ridge. What happened was his mother had mated with a Scottish trader who was a European, and he was born. And because there was matrilineal, it didn't matter that his father was European. He ended up becoming the chief. So his thing was about amalgamation and becoming one with the European, and to welcoming them and welcoming their ways. And he was part of a Cherokee triumvirate. So triumvirate means a three-party ruling system where three gentlemen ruled over the tribes, and their will be enacted through what they said, right? So was a Cherokee leader, member of a tribal council, and a lawmaker. As a warrior, he fought in the Cherokee American War. So as when he was a kid, he fought in the Cherokee American Wars against the frontiersmen. But as he became the chief and the head, he led Cherokee in alliance with the General Andrew Jackson. You know Andrew Jackson, he decimated us. And the United States in the Creek and Seminole Wars. So these Creek and Seminole Wars, where you're getting destroyed, where you're banding up, different Cherokee are banding up to fight off these Europeans. These amalgamations were fighting against you and using your own tactics and your own knowledge against you. They were protecting the Europeans. And what happened to them? They eventually got murdered, enslaved. You don't hear of them, his descendants. This is what happened.
Amalgamated, they got the long stringy hair. Because a lot of the ancient European tribes were doing trade with us. Because when you, like I said, the term Moor is not complexion. It eventually meant that, but it meant seafaring nations. So seafaring nations would be any nation who is not landlocked and is on waters, right? So certain nations are not, wouldn't be considered Moor.